surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
And good morning, live from Jones Hill House here at the University of Maryland. This is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn, he's Griffin, and this is a very cool spot. We are in next to the dining room here.
You said you're going to run some routes later, right?
Oh, yeah, count on that. I'm going to do, actually, what do they call those now? Run it backs? Is that what they used to be, Oklahoma drills? I'm going to go out and run some of those later.
I just want to see some routes on air, honestly.
I'm a little bit concerned. We had an issue this morning, and my 8-year-old had to come with us today.
That sounds like a good thing, right?
I'm so torn by that. He was really excited. He was like, "Oh, can I get everybody's autograph?" I'm like, "We're not doing that, dude. We're not doing that." But then Lavain Scruggs, who's about to join us in a second, sat down. I said, "Buddy, come get a picture." And he was like, I'm playing Roblox." Like, that's the only thing he actually cares about. We are here today, really excited about being here. We're going to have some great Maryland football guests. As we mentioned, a couple players will be coming through. Mike Locksley will join us a little bit later. New athletic director Jim Smith will be joining us a bit later. Excited about all of that. Also very excited about a big Orioles win last night. Rico Garcia is man of the match. We don't have the board with us. We'll update it when we get back to the studio. But an unbelievable performance in the 8th inning after the Red Sox loaded the bases with nobody out. Rico Garcia goes strikeout, strikeout, strikeout to get the Orioles out of the jam, protecting a 3-1 lead. Yes, it got more adventurous from there with Nathaniel Lowe hitting a 2-run homer in the 9th to tie it up. But the Orioles ultimately win in 11 innings as Samuel Basallo somehow gets a piece of a ball that was, I think, 5 feet in front of the plate. One of the more remarkable swings, just enough to bring home the run from third base, and the Orioles hang on. Solid start from Tomo Sagano. Just a really fun week of Orioles baseball. They are off tonight, back in action at home tomorrow, which will be the home debut for Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers. And if you want to be there, we are giving away a pair of tickets to tomorrow night's Orioles-Astros game, but you have to participate in Would You Rather Wednesday today. The scenarios are up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. We will go over them later on in the show. You got to get in by 6 o'clock tonight so that Griffin can pick a winner and get them the tickets before tomorrow night's game. Orioles, Astros, if you want to be there, we are giving away a pair of tickets for someone who participates in Would You Rather Wednesday. Sounds like a deal. I can't help but notice that my 8-year-old is creeping back behind me. Can't help but notice that no matter how many times I told him he needs to be cool and behave today because we're doing a live show, he managed to make it. How many minutes are we in?
About 3 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
4 minutes before it became a problem. All right, you want to bring on our first guest today?
Yeah.
It means that you need to.
Oh, I got to get.
Yeah, you actually have to do some work. That's the way that it's going to go. Today's show is brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star, which returns this October to Fair Hill in Cecil County. It is the 5th edition of the Maryland 5-Star, the Triple Crown of Equestrian, and a celebration of the fall right here in the state of Maryland. You can get your tickets, Maryland 5-Star with the number 5, Maryland 5-Star. .us to get your tickets for the 5th edition of the Maryland 5-Star back at Fair Hill this October. Look forward to seeing you there. Look forward to chat with our first guest, and he's actually a return visitor to the program as he joined us last year after the big win over USC and a big day for him in that game. He is a Spalding alum and a Baltimore guy. He's Lavain Scruggs, and he is with us here on location. Lavain, it's great to see you, man. Thanks for coming over, spending some time.
No problem, no problem.
So I got a bunch of stuff to go over with you. The first is, tell me your most embarrassing Kyle Schmidt story, because I think I'm going to be doing a game here in a couple of weeks, and I want to pull it out on the air.
Most embarrassing Kyle Schmidt story.
Like sometime where, like maybe he ripped a fart in the middle of a meeting or something like that.
Nah, I don't think he had too many embarrassing stories. I think they was all good stories and funny stories.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You kill him. He's a great guy. He's
an amazing guy.
And a Maryland legend, right?
Yeah.
And an absolute terp through and through. Lavain, obviously, I know the year didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to go last year. Coach Locksley opened up this summer about some of the difficulties you guys had maybe in the locker room and some issues that team went through. Could you tell us a little bit about, from your experience, what that was like, and maybe for you guys that are leaders, upperclassmen, what you guys did going into this season to make sure you said, hey, that's not happening to this team again?
Well, first to start off with, Locks got that sign outside of the locker room that, keep everything outside of the locker room because we win as a team, we lose as a team. So I think it really starts there. He's bringing everybody along, and we're very family oriented, and I think, we're really becoming a brotherhood. It's hard to become a brotherhood now, when there's a lot of transferring going on, everybody's being selfish. But I think this team is very, very, for each other, and becoming a good brotherhood.
You, as a guy that's been here, right? And that's, I don't know, kind of rare at this point in college football.
Yeah.
I guess let's start with that, right? Why? Why stick it out? Why buck the trend of being like a one-year free agent and going? Why have you stuck it out at Maryland for as long as you have?
I mean, 'cause Maryland is Maryland. At the end of the day, Locks, it starts with Locks. He's a good guy. One of those Stephon Diggs saying, "It's a better place. What's a better place to do it in your city?" And I think I stayed here because it was a great opportunity and a good decision.
You, in doing that, obviously, we mentioned you inherit being one of these guys on this team. What does that mean to you? What does it look like for you, being a leader, being someone who takes responsibility for what happens with this team this season?
It looks like I'm not really a vocal leader, but it starts off with doing things right, setting a standard, competing at a high level, and yeah.
How is it different this year, Lavain? How is it? We say that you guys are only a couple years removed away from obviously being really good. What does it take to get back to that this season?
I would start with everyone being on the same page. Everyone playing together, like I said earlier. Everyone playing together and not being selfish. I think it really starts there, and like I said, the brotherhood that we have. So I think that's really what would be the change.
I'm thinking about Lavain Scruggs is with us. We're a little bit away from the stadium, but I'm thinking about what that day was like for you, but for the entire team beating USC and the crowd and the atmosphere and the energy.
Yeah.
Can you describe, as a local guy, what that meant? And I know that you wanted it to be followed up with a lot more wins, but what that day meant and how much you think about the possibility of, hey, we could have a few more days like that this year.
Yeah, to me, it really meant a lot. And then talking about the play, it really started up front with them front guys, man. They got the pass rush off, they got the ball off fast, and I just made the play, but it really meant a lot, because it was a rough time during the game, and it turned it around, and offense came on the field and they scored. So it really meant a lot, and They stormed the field after, so it was amazing.
Dude, it was an incredible feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's something that we haven't seen a ton at Maryland over the years.
Yeah.
And I got to imagine in that moment, you're like, oh, right, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for moments like this.
Yeah, for real.
Hopefully there's a lot more of them. Hopefully that's the case this season.
Yeah.
Lavain, we got to get to know you, right? Tell me, let's go back a little ways, right? You said the Stephon thing really, was that the reason that you chose to be at Maryland to begin with?
I mean, like I said, it started with Locks, man. He's a great guy, and I don't think a lot of people see it, but he's a great guy, man. And I think that's really why I stayed. He's a great guy, and then the guys are still here. A lot of people left, but the guys are still here. I stayed to who I am, and I still have brothers here, so I stayed with them.
But originally, when you decided to come to Maryland, it was because of Coach Locksley?
Yeah, it was Coach Locks. You know, we also had other guys on the staff that's not here anymore, but yes.
Can you explain to people that don't understand that, right? Because I try sometimes. I'm like, I can't. He's different. He's not like everybody else. I have great affinity. I think everybody knows from Mike Locksley.
Yeah.
Can you explain, because I'm sure you heard from a million coaches, why you thought he was different and specifically you wanted to be around him?
Starting first, he's a straightforward guy, honest guy, and he can relate to me and others, like where we came from and things that we've been through. So he's a real guy.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
We're chatting with Lavain Scruggs here live at University of Maryland football, overlooking the practice fields here at Jones Hill House. This is actually my first time being in the facility.
Wow.
I had never seen all of it before. Dude, it's unreal, right?
Yeah.
How much time do you spend here?
All day.
All right. So, okay, what does that look like? Like, obviously, you're doing practice.
Yep.
But when you're not practicing, what are you doing in the building?
Treatment, rehab, film, eating. Try to get a little rest, but you can't get too much. So that's. Yeah.
I was going to offer you an apple pie Oreo, but I don't know where y'all. I mean,
I'm trying to eat a little healthy.
Oh no, you're out on it. I was going to let everybody. I was trying to bring gifts for everybody today. It's the only thing I thought to grab on the way over here, right? So, what is a day? What does eating look like? This is the summer. This is when. Like I just roasted a pig the other day and kind of went crazy a little bit. Yeah. What does eating look like here? Because I was wandering around in there. I might go.
Well, it's like a all you can eat buffet in there. So it's breakfast. You can get whatever for breakfast. Honestly, a sandwich.
But
egg.
If you're not willing to eat like an Oreo, then what is it?
That you can make a salad. You can make a salad.
So what's your go-to?
That's what I was going to say.
Salad's your go-to then?
So probably some rice chicken.
Oh,
okay.
Rice chicken with some broccoli or green beans.
Okay.
And then I'll back it up with a salad. Yeah.
All right,
Caesar
that's
salad.
not bad. I can live that way.
And you never touch dessert then?
Nah, I don't touch dessert. No ice
for you.
cream, no cookies. Nah.
Good for you, man. Good for you. That's why he looks like he does.
Yeah.
I look like I do, and that's just the way that it goes. There's a question I'm going to ask a couple of guys today, and specifically you because you're from here. I want to know in what way you are most Maryland. Like, what's the thing about you that is the most Maryland? As you can tell from me, I literally dress the part. Like, this isn't because I'm here today. This is just what I wear. Yeah. Like, I wear the flag everywhere I go. Yeah. I put Old Bay on everything. I'm that type of stereotype. Yeah. I am a walking stereotype. In what way, Lavain Scruggs, are you most
Maryland? Ooh, that's a good question. Most Maryland. I'll say playing for Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, I think that does qualify. That does qualify. That's pretty Maryland. You're not wrong, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else about you, your personality?
Not really. I mean, I'm from Baltimore, but.
What did that mean when you heard DQ say that in the NCAA tournament last year?
It was pretty funny. I wouldn't expect him to say it. It was pretty funny.
I feel like we all kind of felt a little bit of that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
like,
we felt that.
It struck us in a way that there is something inherently different about our personality and the way that we do things that is unique to where we're from, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that a little bit? Like, the way that you play, something you do on the field where you're like, yeah, that's just because I'm from Baltimore.
I mean, sometimes, not all the time, though.
Well, are you a big trash talker?
Nah, I mean, if I don't get there.
You're such a steady guy.
Yeah,
like,
I just play ball.
You don't ever have if somebody starts jarring with you.
Yeah, I just laugh at them. I just laugh. Yeah, I laugh a lot. So if you try to get at me under my skin, I just laugh. Yeah,
and then leave it alone.
I just leave it alone.
Do you remind them after you make a play?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I just laugh at them again.
Have a conversation at that point. I know we don't know yet who the quarterback of this team is going to be, but you obviously have a little bit of history, because you guys aren't near the same age. Yep. But you know Malik well, right? What should we know about Malik? And what if he's the guy, or whenever, because presumably at some point he will be the guy here at Maryland, what it is that he brings to the table for this program?
He's a very smart guy, very athletic. He sees the field very well. He read coverages very well. Overall, he does his job in a very good manner, and you'll see it in during practice, man. The throws that he make, and it's very unreal sometimes, but Yeah, he's very good, man.
It's wild how, like, I think the first time I probably talked to him was when you might still been on the team at that point,
Yeah.
right? Like, he was a freshman, and you just felt like you were talking to someone who wasn't 14 years old
Yeah,
or
that's
15
crazy.
years old. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, I don't know where this kid came from. It is insane.
Yeah.
Lavain Scruggs, where are you on social media?
Lavain Scruggs.
And that's with an I for
Yep.
those that Lavain
Lavain.
Scruggs
Yep.
on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Yep.
Lavain, may there be more, like 5 more this year where we are like carrying you off the field over here in celebration of big wins starting next weekend. Appreciate you coming over and hanging out with us this morning, man.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. That's Lavain Scruggs, pride of Archbishop Spalding, first up today here on GCR. Let's do this. Let's grab a break.
All right.
We got more guests to come. Kaleb Webb is going to join us in a minute. We're going to chat with Coach Mike Locksley. We got more to get to on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantopoulos family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
Today's show also brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone is the website. High school sports season getting underway this week and all year long. Every score, every schedule for every team, every sport. At every school, all throughout the state of Maryland, you can find it, CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. We are here at the University of Maryland today, and we want to do some more of these types of live on-location shows. When we were out in Vegas, I started thinking about that and saying I want to be around town a little bit more. Maryland kicks off the season 1 week from Saturday by hosting Florida Atlantic. Then they get Northern Illinois on a Friday night before hosting Towson, and you said they need to be on upset alert that day.
I do. Yeah,
correct?
I mean, obviously, it's
That's
gonna be a tough.
That's
It's
the
gonna
is
not
that
gonna
the
be easy. It's not gonna
how
be
does
easy, that's
that
for sure.
work?
This one
Do
in,
you
this one's
show
here.
do you
Okay.
show up rooting for one team and then
Yeah, Towson.
whoever's? But then, like, if Maryland's winning in the third quarter, do you take off your Towson jersey?
No.
and reveal
I'm a
it?
loyal. I'm a Towson loyalist. Obviously.
How loyal?
I mean,
How loyal?
until like it comes out that they've been committing crimes and
You're
I
here
can't
today.
support them.
You're here today.
Well, I'm a Maryland man. Yeah.
All right, I
And
understand.
my sister goes here, so I gotta I believe
There-
both. I believe
there-
both.
there
But
is
when
that.
push comes to shove, it's always going to be Towson over Maryland.
Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios are up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Get your responses in. Again, someone who participates will win a pair of tickets to Orioles Astros tomorrow night. A couple of notes. Obviously, we are still awaiting what the reality will be for Jordan Westberg. He did not play last night. He will be. Did you make Dustin carry your food? My 8-year-old has our friend Dustin Simanovic carrying his food for him. Who is this kid? Sorry. Thank you, Dustin. That's very kind of you. We are waiting word on Jordan Westberg. Missed last night due to ankle discomfort, and hopefully he will be back tomorrow. We are going to get an update tomorrow. If he's not ready, presumably he will go back on the IL, which would be a giant bummer. There's no way around that. Hopefully that will not be the case. Hopefully he will be ready to return, but it could end up being another IL stint for Jordan Westberg. Now, as far as everything else is concerned, because I had a couple people that I sent out a tweet last night, and I think people misunderstood it, and I just want to address it very quickly because then we're going to talk to Kaleb Webb this morning. The tweet that I sent was after Tony Mansolino took Rico Garcia out of the game. And I get it. They were up by 2 going to the 9th inning. Everyone lost their minds because, as we all know, whenever a manager or a coach does something, if they just would have done something else, that definitely would have worked.
I'm glad you get it.
We know how this goes. Whatever they did, if they did the other thing, that for sure would have worked. And I understand. Rico Garcia looked dominant in the 8th inning. He had thrown only 12 pitches, so when you ask why not leave him back out there for the 9th inning, it's a fair question, other than it's not abnormal for a reliever to only go 1 inning. So it's not surprising that Tony Mansolino would go to another reliever. I also understand the Orioles bullpen decimated, not very good at the moment. They used their one reliever, Keegan Aiken, back in the 6th inning. Rico Garcia was the backup plan in the 8th inning as things were falling apart. They don't have good options. But it's not weird that Tony Mansolino went to another pitcher. What I said was it's kind of neat that everyone is this furious at Tony Mansolino. The season ended months ago. It's just fun that for some reason we care. And what I'm speaking to isn't that I think it's you're nuts for questioning the decision. I understand why it is that you're asking the question. I do. I get it. One, I think it's understandable that he went to a different pitcher. It's weirder that we would see someone work 2 innings in a close game. You typically only see that, although who worked 2 innings over the weekend?
Did Ends go 2 innings?
Yeah, and it
at one
wasn't in a
point?
close game, though. It was a more lopsided game, right, on Sunday. So you see that sometimes in more lopsided games. You don't usually see pitchers work 2 innings in very close games. So you want to beat up Tony Mansolino, fine, have that conversation all you want, but to suggest that it was like bizarre that he took Rico Garcia out of the game, it's not that. What you're doing is revisionist, understandably so. The move that he made didn't work. But it's more that tweet that people got worked up about was a reflection of just how kind of crazy it is that a team that is going nowhere and we appeared to have kind of given up on a couple weeks ago still has us this worked up, which I think is neat. Like, it's pleasant that we're interested and we're invested and we're watching the games.
It's what we were talking about with Peter Schmuck yesterday, where suddenly, there's a reason to carry.
They're very watchable. We are very invested because there's this young group of players. They are playing well, and we are invested in that. And that was all that I was trying to share in that tweet. It wasn't really trying to fight about the Tony Mansolino thing. You want to say you think Rico Garcia should have pitched another inning? Sure. In hindsight, definitely. But I don't know that Rico Garcia was. Who knew that when Rico Garcia came into the game last night and the bases were loaded with nobody out, did anyone think the Orioles were getting out of that inning without giving up a run?
No.
Not one of us thought like, oh, they got their guy. We don't know who Rico Garcia is. Now we do.
He's cold-blooded.
Now he's a future Orioles Hall of Famer. Now he's the role leads relief man of the year. That's what he is. But you want to have a real conversation about it? It didn't work. And so it's easy to second guess. But in the moment, was it bizarre? I had some thought as the ninth inning started, like, maybe you don't trust anybody in the bullpen. You got a hot hand. Let him sink or swim here. You have an off day tomorrow. See if he has another inning like that in him. But I don't think it's that absurd that Tony Mansolino left or took him out after one inning. That's fairly normal. All right, you want to set up for our next guest? We continue along live here at Jones Hill House at the University of Maryland as Maryland football gets ready for their season opener 1 week from Saturday against Florida Atlantic. And a new face on the team this year at the University of Maryland, transferred in from the University of Tennessee. He is a wide receiver. His name is Kaleb Webb, and he has stopped by to hang out with us this morning here on GCR, or this afternoon. I don't know where we are time-wise. It's close. Kaleb, it's Glenn. It's great to meet you, man. Thank you for coming over and hanging out with us.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Kaleb, I think the first question that everybody would ask would be, why, right? Like, and I'm sure you got that from some people in your life. You're in the SEC. You're at the highest level of college football. You're getting some opportunities. You end up at a place like Maryland that you're not from here, right? Like there isn't the obvious like, oh, right, this makes sense. He's coming home. Why Maryland? How is this the place that you ended up choosing?
First, I would say Maryland. Coach Locksley did a great job when recruited me out of the portal. I liked what he stood for as far as just coming in and having an opportunity to compete, like regardless what age or how he sees you fit into a team, you have a chance to come out here and prove it every day. And he says, like, every practice is a show and every show is a practice. So you get to prove yourself. So that was intriguing to me. And then seeing what Ty Felton and KP did last year, I felt like I could step in that role and kind of just do the same thing, if not better. You're
alluding to, and I think it goes even beyond those two guys, Maryland, in a way, has become sort of this, like, low-key wide receiver over the years,
course.
Right? Like, dating back to, you know, even before Stephon, Torrey Smith, and Stephon and DJ Moore, and to your point about Caden Prather and Ty Felton last year, is that something that is noticed throughout college? Like, you know, when you were down in Tennessee, it's like, man, how do they keep having wide receivers up at the University of Maryland?
I would just say, like, I mean, everybody keeps up with football throughout the season, so you see Ty just, I think he led the nation, or he was top 3 in the nation for a while. So, and then I feel like that's just a constant trend, like, over the years. Like, they always have someone competing in yards or reception. So that's intriguing to a receiver. Like, you want the ball, you want the ability to make plays.
I understand that. That's the way it works. You can't play receiver without being a guy that demands the ball, right? Okay, can we ask this, and you understand I'm not asking you, I'm not trying to offend you. Do you have to be, like, and maybe diva is the wrong word, to play receiver, do you have to have some sort of, like, ego of some sort? It feels like it requires that in order to succeed at the position.
In a sense, I would say, like, I feel like as a coordinator or a quarterback, you would want your receiver to kind of demand the ball in a sense. Like, I think I can win my one-on-ones, or I think I can get open on this. So it just gives, like, it's like a certain confidence that you need a receiver. But also, like, with that, you know that you have to play for your other teammates as well. You can't just demand the ball, but you have to be willing to block for your teammates, and just kind of, if you have to run a decoy route, like, just be able to make yourself available for them. So
we just asked Lavain the same question. Are you a trash talker? Like, we haven't had a chance to see you yet here. Are you will you be willing to jaw with guys?
I'm really quiet. I'm more of a, like, when I score, I like to celebrate.
Okay.
But I'm not much of a talker, but if somebody gets talking to me,
you'll give it back?
Yeah, I give it back for sure.
Okay, because I have talked to a lot of football players about this over the years, and I know guys that played for the Ravens over the years that would literally study things in order to be prepared to trash talk. Do you go that deep, or is it just some more like generic in-game type of trash talk?
I have before that in high school, but
like you knew things about the guys that was going to be defending you.
Of course, like back in I went to McKeachern High School in Georgia, and our rival was Hillgrove. So I'm digging up anything I can on Hillgrove just so when we see them, I'm prepared. So.
You would call over like, did their girl cheat on him with somebody? Like, I need to be able to bring it up.
I'm getting all the tea, man, all that.
I genuinely love that. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah.
We're chatting with Kaleb Webb, Maryland wide receiver, here on GCR. Kaleb, I would assume that in part of those conversations with Coach Locksley, role and opportunity is something that has to come up. How comfortable did you feel like there was a role for you, an opportunity for you to be heavily involved in this offense?
With Ty and KP leaving, I knew they were losing a lot of production. And then, like, Ak was coming back and Punch, and I knew we were getting Farouk out the portal. So I knew I was going to – I feel like when you have competition in the receiver room, it elevates your play. So I was embracing the competition, and I was really just, like, looking at all that, and, like, I feel like I could fit in perfectly. Like, it's enough touches to go around for everybody to eat, honestly.
Did you have to deal with, like, again, between being from Georgia and being at Tennessee, did you have friends who were like, dude, isn't this a step down for you? Did you have to, like, address that with them and explain to them why, no, what you think is not true at all? Mm-hmm. Like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah. I definitely got those questions. Like, of course, like, they're going to say you left a 10-2 playoff team.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was doing what was best for me. And honestly, in today's day and age, like, anybody can compete. Honestly, that's what you're seeing, like, throughout all of college football. Like with Indiana making the
that's a great point, right?
The college football playoffs. So I honestly just came here looking to bring some form of leadership and hoping us achieve that next level.
How do you do that without knowing the guys previously? Like, I don't know how many. Football's still a small world. I'm sure you knew some of these guys a little bit, but not having been here, what does that look like for you as you come in as a veteran, wanting to be a leader, but maybe not knowing the guys the same way? How do you take on those roles?
Honestly, I feel I just come in and be me, honestly. Like, I handle my things, hold people accountable, and even me not knowing them, I feel like they'll respect me enough just to follow on board, if that makes sense. So
you played in a lot of big games. Like, you've been through how much does that help? Like, do they recognize that experience matters, that you know what it's like to play under the brightest light?
Yeah, of course. I get questions from my teammates all the time, like how it was playing in certain games, such as like the Bamas, the Georgias, and honestly, just give them anything I can, especially the younger guys if they need help, because I know it can be shell shocking, just being thrown in the action. So I'll just try to give them any pointers I can.
What's the biggest culture shock coming to this part of the country or Maryland? Like, what's the biggest thing that you're used to that we don't do here? Or that we do here, and you're like, yo, I didn't know anything about that. You are staring at a dude who's literally wearing the state flag on his button-down shirt today. So, like, we are a little bit different.
I do see the state flag everywhere, and
we are weirdos.
It's really, no Waffle Houses in Maryland.
Like, there's a couple, but there are not many. Yeah. There are not many, man.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, but so like Waffle House is how you know how bad a hurricane. There's like a hurricane going on right now. Waffle House is how you know how bad a hurricane is. Because Waffle House never closes. So if Waffle House closes, you got to get out of town. Like, it's time. What is your go-to? Our friend Kevin Brown, who's the Orioles play-by-play voice, made a Waffle House reference on a home run call recently. Mm-hmm. He said he smothered and covered the baseball.
Smothered and covered, yeah.
What's the play for you, hash brown wise, when you go to the Waffle House?
Honestly, just go like basic. I just regular crispy hash brown, and I kind of decorate the ketchup on the hash brown.
You and my 8-year-old get along really well. Like, you would have the exact same patterns for the Waffle House. You don't do anything? You don't do anything fun?
Oh, no, I just go Waffle House. I'm getting the All-Star Special scrambled with cheese, get bacon, get grits, get a hash brown as well, and then get a waffle.
All right, I dig it. You are obviously watching these three quarterbacks and having the ball thrown this way. And I'm not trying to, tell me which one. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about all three of them. What's something that we should know about all three? Because we don't know which one it's going to be that's going to be playing next week. What's something that you've learned about all three quarterbacks at this point?
It's an interesting battle between them because usually I feel like when they're battling for a position, it can like jealousy can come into play and animosity and all that. But I feel like they all like gel together. They all help each other. Like Kmart, he's not really a vocal leader, but he kind of just leads by example, just doing the right things.
He's Christian.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have Justin. He's coming in. He's new, so I felt like at first he was a little bit reserved, but once he got comfortable with everything, he started being more of a vocal leader and kind of just with his veteran presence, kind of showing everybody else how to be a pro, like taking care of your body off the field and just putting in that extra work in the playbook and in the weight room just to make sure you have the best performance. And then Malik, he honestly shocked me, for a young guy coming in and just being able to handle his business off rip. Like, a lot of young guys, they have to go through like a learning curve almost, but
it's really amazing. I've known Malik for a little while, right? Like, it really is amazing to me how he just does not seem. He seems like he's 25.
Yeah, it didn't even seem like he was a freshman. That's what I'm saying. It was so surprising, and then seeing him out here compete on the field. I don't know. He just had a different aura about him, especially as a freshman. Like the way he carried himself and the confidence he had, and he just wasn't afraid to make mistakes as well. So I preach him on that.
I appreciate that. Just another minute or two here with Kaleb Webb, who is, of course, wide receiver, transferred in from Tennessee to the University of Maryland.
Yeah, so we talked about the Maryland flag. You just want to admit that it's the helmets is the real reason that you transferred to Maryland. That was the big reason.
I do want them to bring the old helmets back. I love those with the flag.
We could.
Yeah, those.
It gets personal because people love the script. They love the script terps on the helmets around here. And I am like, dude, we have the greatest flag that's ever been existed in history. That's a beautiful flag. Perfection.
Yeah.
I want nothing other than that at all times on everything. It's a very selfish thing for me because like so many people get there's an old school feeling to wearing those script terp helmets, and so people love them. But man, I don't know, dude. That flag, man.
Yeah, the flag looked beautiful on the helmet.
Have you started collecting flag gear yet? Have we gotten you to that point?
Not yet,
all
but
right. We're gonna change that.
It'll be
We're gonna change that. That's gonna happen, Kaleb. I promise. Did I read right that you were a journalism major?
Yes.
Tell me about where the interest came for that. Is this something that one day down the road after your playing career you'd like to do something like this?
Of course. I feel like for me, I picked journalism just because I want to go into sports journalism, sports broadcasting, anything in that realm. So. Sports has changed my life, and it's been like a part of my DNA since I was 5. So I feel like it would be only right to go in a career where I'm following and getting to talk to fellow athletes just from a relation perspective.
What do you think we get wrong most? What do you think? Now you get a chance to critique us because we love to critique. We have any idea what we're talking about, and we love to critique you guys. He didn't run the right route. And we have any idea what the playbook says. Yeah. What do we get wrong? What do we not do right?
I wouldn't say
you don't have to be nice.
Yeah, it's anything major, okay. But
I know you can kick my ass. I know.
I would say probably just not knowing the big picture. Honestly, just from a scheme standpoint, or what the defense presented to us. I think it's just hard from outside looking in to fully understand the entire picture, because sometimes I mean it's obvious, some people can't see that obviously wasn't right, but understanding the full picture, I feel like that's kind of where things can get discombobulated.
Have you already tried? Have you hosted a podcast or anything? Have you done any? Have you started moving down this road at all?
I did something when I was at Tennessee through the Players Lounge. With
cool.
One of my other teammates, but since I've been up here, I just kind of been focused on ball with the new area.
Ingratiating yourself, that makes all the sense in the world, man, and that's the part that matters. Why is this team going to surprise people this year?
I would say just the culture we have. I feel like all the time, like winning football games, it's not all about the talent aspect of it, but if you have people you can depend on and people who can play for one another without being selfish, I feel like that ultimately will beat talent any day of the week. So just the bond we have, seeing people get along outside of football, I feel like that brings us closer together and allows each other to play for each other. And then you have Ted coming in as well as Pep. They just brought like a new.
Like I feel like that part of it people don't even think about. With like Pep has accomplished so many things in this sport. Like, did you know a lot about Pep before you got connected with him? Did you know like Andrew Luck and all of that?
I didn't. I just knew. I mean, I played with Joe, and he coached Joe when he was at Michigan.
Okay.
So before I really just stacked some time here, I had talked to Joe about him, and he said he loved him and the energy he brought every day. So I kind of had high expectations before I even had a conversation with Pep for real. So
what's he like?
He's funny in a weird way. Like,
okay.
It's like he has a serious approach, like a professional approach to the game, making sure we kind of take care of things like just showing up to like meals and handling things outside of football, but also making sure we're not just treating this like it's another thing almost. Like this is your job and this is something that can change you and your family's life, and he preaches that to us. So I think it just brings it more importance at the end of the day.
That's cool,
so
man. That's very
I
cool.
love that.
Caleb, where are you on? So go ahead.
Yeah. Being in the SEC, what's the toughest place that you had to play in, or even the college football playoff at Ohio State? What was the toughest place you had to play in?
Can I say Neyland?
Honestly,
Neyland. If I didn't play in there as a opponent, but
yeah.
I mean, being on the sidelines during when our defense was out there was literally insane. So I'll probably say that, and then Bama's right.
Okay.
Right behind them.
I mean,
yeah.
that whole thing. That whole thing. Caleb, where are you on social media? Where can Maryland fans be giving you a follow?
You can follow me on Instagram, KA1EBWEBB.
And, of course, that's Caleb with a K, Kaleb Webb. Really great to meet you, man. Looking forward to seeing what you're going to do this year at the University of Maryland. Thank you for hanging out with us, spending some time.
I appreciate y'all.
We'll come back in. Mike Locksley is going to join us in just a few minutes. We are live here at the University of Maryland at Jones Hill House. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Get ready, Baltimore. On Saturday, September 6th, the world's top pro cyclists return for the Maryland Cycling Classic, America's top pro road race. Cheer on elite men's and women's teams from around the globe as they battle it out on a brand new circuit through Charm City. Enjoy a free festival, fan zones, and all the action at Harbor Point and the Inner Harbor. Watch live on Maryland Public TV or join the live stream at marylandcyclingclassic.us. Don't miss the speed, the strategy, the spectacle. The Maryland Cycling Classic, September 6th in Baltimore.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
If you haven't picked up the print issue of Press Box yet, make sure you do that today. It's available for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. That's Derrick Henry on the cover. He probably would agree with Kaleb Webb's assessment about the difficulty of playing at the University of Alabama. Pick that up right now. Wherever you find Press Box, you can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. There's also a lot of great fall college sports content in this print issue of Press Box, including a story about University of Maryland Sydney Stewart. Let me see if I can find that to show it to everybody. That's right. Local guy who is turning some heads already. Just a freshman, but maybe someone that's going to be able to make an impact fairly quickly. There you go, Sydney Stewart. Great story inside this print issue of Press Box, which is available now. All right. Would You Rather Wednesday, again, participate. Someone who does is receiving a pair of tickets for tomorrow night, the home debut of Samuel Basallo and also Dylan Beavers at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. All you got to do, respond to at least one, if not all, of the Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios that are posted, facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio or at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. That's it. Even if your answer is bad, we're going to register you to win. It's as simple as that. Griffin picks the winner, so, you know, it's what it is. But even if your answer is bad, we will register you to win.
Sometimes bad answers almost get picked.
Because they get a little more attention?
Yeah.
Is that the way it goes? Would you rather, number one, this offseason, the Orioles will do one of these two things. They will either A, give Gunnar Henderson a mega contract extension, something like a 10-year, $500 million deal, or B, far more team-friendly extensions with both Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers.
Let's go with I'd take Gunnar Henderson for the long haul. That seems
it's leaning towards Gunnar. I think that because I can't word out the entire thought here, it ends up becoming problematic. There are a few people that I think get it. Our guy, Chef Keith, says, I want to get Gunnar signed, but I'm liking what I'm seeing with Basallo and the Fireman. I think he heard me this morning on the fan where we were joking that Dylan Beavers had two options. He was either going to be a firefighter or a baseball player. Okay. I think part of what it's somebody, for example, Dolph responded by saying, hey, which of these questions pertain to a more pressing matter? And I get what you're thinking there was what you're saying is like, hey, we got to get Gunnar signed. Yeah, to an extent, except that if you don't sign Basallo or Beavers now, you're not going to get them to team-friendly extensions. And I think that's the part of this that maybe people are missing. Although other people are just choosing them.
Because I'm almost looking. I started looking at it like, it's just Basallo versus Gunnar, and I guess, but we don't know. I guess Basallo could be anything. Like he could be an MVP candidate as well every year. Just like it seems like Gunnar is finally getting back.
I'll take the magic box. It could be anything.
Right.
It could even be a magic box.
And then you also get 2 players in that deal as well. So
You
if
do
you're-
get
if
2
we're locking
players.
down Beavers
That's
and
part of
Basallo,
it's part of what it is, and it's also at more team-friendly deals. And that's the part of it that I can't convey in the question, which is that if you're giving more team-friendly extensions to those players, does that open up more money to be spent elsewhere? Whereas if you give Gunnar Henderson the mega extension, do the Orioles find themselves saying, well, that's the money that we're going to spend?
Right.
And that's the difficult part about the question that a lot of people don't seem to be diving into. And I get it. Would You Rather Wednesday does not it does not exist for deep thinking. I do understand
it should,
what it is that I'm doing. I like when it opens up conversation. I do think somebody got in. I can't remember who it was to say.
I mean, it's a tough one. Like, I seriously don't, because I look at both options almost like they're not going to do anything after this.
Right.
Like,
I think it was Jeff who
Orioles.
said, is that going to give them the money to then spend on pitching if they don't do Gunnar and instead do Basallo and Beavers? And maybe it is. Now, again, it's also easy if you're choosing Gunnar to say, and I would make the Chris Davis comparison. If you're signing Gunnar and that's it for money, then no. Like, if you're saying we signed Gunnar, we're never spending another penny again, or not spending big money again, then no, don't sign Gunnar. Go the other way. It shouldn't be that choice. There should be room to both sign Gunnar Henderson to a serious extension, but then also spend more money. It's not my money. We were talking about this with Peter Schmuck yesterday, of course. He said, do you want to go after Framber Valdez? Absolutely. Yes, easy to say. Now we're trying to bring that into the reality of this conversation, and it's not easy to do within Would You Rather Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, and $500 million feels like I mean, who knows what's going to happen with next season, the next 2 seasons, what Gunner's going to do if he stays healthy and plays like Gunnar Henderson. He's probably more than 500.
He's
million.
both.
And you can argue that's a great 10 for 500 is a good deal.
I want to say Jeff Passan wrote a piece for ESPN recently where he asked executives around baseball who the next $600 million man would be, and he said that Gunnar Henderson's name came up a lot in those conversations, and that he could get Juan Soto type of money. I don't know if you can find exactly what it was that he said, but he wrote a whole piece about who's the next. Oh, gosh, let me see if I can find it. Jeff Passan, who's the next $600 million? Yeah, I got it here. Okay. Hang on. As the best bet to beat Soto in terms of contract. And even then, executives said it's a long shot. Henderson debuted at 21 and will reach free agency after the 2028 season at 27. He plays a far more important position than Soto's right field. And even if Henderson does eventually move to third base, the potential advantage still will be true. In his 2 full seasons, Henderson has already put up more than 15. All right, I think you got the point. Henderson needs more years of consistent quality before he can be looking at $600 million, let alone $765 million. But he put him in that $600 million category. And so maybe the argument that you could make is you got to do Gunnar because you're getting a deal. You're getting a discount.
Right.
At 10 years, $500 million if you do it. So maybe that's an
So I'm going to stick with Gunnar then as my pick.
Orioles idiot. There are a lot of people that are very bullish about Samuel Basallo.
I mean, it's hard not to be.
Right? I get it.
I get it. The stat was there's been 3 players ever to have an RBI in their first 3 games as an Oriole. I don't even know
it was
the
somebody
guy's
super
name. Yeah,
random.
It
was some Ryan Hughes.
Yep, Ryan
right?
Hughes.
Like, you're just like, what? Orioles idiot. Beavers is probably just the next in the Hayes-Cowser line, but Basallo is going to hit 500 home runs and 3,000 hits, so we need to make sure he stays in orange. That would be something if that proves to be the case. That would be something. All right, would you rather bet $1,000 on the Denver Broncos minus 130 making the playoffs or on the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 126 making the playoffs?
Bet $1,000.
$1,000. One of them gets you minus 130 odds. This guy. Are you allowed to say hi, or do we have to pretend like you don't exist? Yeah, I don't know how this works. I know everybody's different. You go some places, they're like, I'll hop on right now.
I mean, obviously, the Steelers have to play the Ravens twice.
They do.
The Broncos have to play the Chargers
Chiefs, yep.
and
The Chargers are the
well,
first
the
one that
Chiefs,
came to
the
mind.
Chiefs are already added in. They play the Chiefs close every time. They should have lost them. They should have beat them once last year. If their was that the kicker missed at the very end, or they had the field goals blocked.
Correct. They had them beat. Yep.
I'll do Denver. I will do man, but the odd. What are the odds on
the odds on Denver are -130. The odds on Pittsburgh are +126.
It's not juicy enough to take.
You just think Denver's the better bet?
Yeah, I think Denver is.
I'm
is the better bet.
I'm torn on this one because I really do
pay
like.
up a little bit.
I like Bo Nix as much as everybody else does. I think he is legit. The difficulty for me is that on the flip side, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers we're talking about. And this is a Mike Tomlin coach Pittsburgh Steelers team that we're talking about.
Yeah, but they're an injury away for what happens when I'm not. I guess I'm almost acting like Aaron Rodgers is like what happens when Aaron Rodgers gets hurt and then they don't have a quarterback again.
Hear you me. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win 9 games this year.
And will that be enough?
I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I know that that's the baseline. I don't know what the baseline is for the Denver Broncos, who again I like. And I like R.J. Harvey, he's a guy that I'm probably going to be scooping up a little bit.
R.J. Harvey.
Dobbins. I don't know I never know if he's going to play. I don't love their receiving core still. I know they got Evan Ingram, and I think that helps. But I still am in a place where I feel like you're mostly betting on Bo Nix, and to me it becomes a bet.
Their defense is going to be still really good though.
I just know what the baseline is for the Steelers. I just know.
And I'm worried the Chargers may take a step back. You know,
I understand.
They've already had some offensive line injuries.
I get it. I completely
I'm going to take the Broncos.
All right, we'll finish Would You Rather Wednesday in a minute, but we got a special guest who's come over to join us right now. Glenn Clark Radio, live from Jones Hill House at the University of Maryland here on a Would You Rather Wednesday. Again, get your responses in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Someone who responds will win a pair of tickets to the Orioles-Astros game tomorrow night, the home debut for Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers. Yes, sorry, Coach. I had to bring my 8-year. It was bring your child to Jones Hill House Day with you today, apparently. Got that? We need to hear from Coach.
We love the kids around here, man.
First of all, Coach Mike Locksley is with us here on GCR. It's great to see you. Really appreciate you having us out today.
Well, appreciate you guys covering us the way you guys do, Glenn.
I've always said this, the affinity that I have for you personally and the respect that I have for you as a coach, it goes a long way. And I'm very interested, and we're going to, for people that aren't familiar with it, you and I have talked a lot about your honesty over the years.
Authenticity.
I was blown away once again this year when you go out to Vegas and you get in front of the microphone and you are very honest. For people that don't know what I'm talking about, this is what Coach Locksley had to say at Big Ten Media Days this year.
I can tell you last year was tough on me as a coach because for the first time, those really strong relationships were questioned because I had to decide whether to pay a freshman coming in or take care of a veteran player that helped me go to 3 bowl games and have success and do something that hadn't been done in 130 years in the history of Maryland football. And it was hard to do both. And so what I've decided now is if you come to Maryland and you look outside of our locker room, there's a sign. And that sign reads, you can leave your Louis belts, your car keys, and your financial statements outside of this locker room because when you enter those doors, we'll all pay the same price for success or failure. And that's really important for me. And that's what last year was about for me. But that's also why I'm excited about this year because I don't know what kind of team I have just yet, but I know that they're really talented. And it's a matter of them playing for something bigger than themselves, which we're in the process of developing that type of culture.
So I'll ask the immediate follow-up question. Do you know what type of team you have just yet?
Yeah, I do think, like I said then, very talented team as has been displayed here throughout camp. But I think we'll know what type of team we have based on the first opportunity to either have to manage success or failure. And that's what that means for me. I know we've got a good football team, that part. I know we have some really talented players that are young and inexperienced and new, but that's okay too.
we won't really know just who we are until we face some things together, and it's whether it's managing success or dealing with adversity.
So I guess in hindsight, if I had asked you this question this time last year, were you not aware then of the issues that you were going to deal with?
100%.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no one can anticipate the landscape that has just been. I mean, I equate it to the church doors opening on December 1st, where, you know, everybody had the same scholarship check every year for 105 years, and now I have to navigate teaching 18-year-olds to 22-year-olds just how real business works, and that not everybody gets equal, not everybody gets the same. You can't worry about what little Billy is getting over here. You have to run your race and then create the value. And for a lot of years in college football, they all had the same value. And that is what it means when I say I lost my team. A lot of people focused on the first part of the sentence. I appreciate that you guys actually played the back end of it to explain what that meant, because it wasn't I lost my team because they wouldn't play for me.
They hated you.
It wasn't that. It was, you know, I should have, as a parent, anticipated some of the things that happened a year ago. I saw them happen, and I started making the changes throughout the course of the year. You know, I made changes in the coaching staff during the season. I increased my role and involved myself more in the offense to start the process. So I didn't want to wait until the end of the season to start elevating it. And if you look at what we've done from mid-season on to now, we've done the right things and made the right decisions in terms of having to elevate every part of the Maryland football program.
You know, we've talked before about, you mentioned with the John Talty book, that maybe they caught you on a bad day, right, where you're just sort of in your feelings a little bit. You've been open about the difficulty of this era of college football for you. Do you feel like now, with more time, you've got a better grasp of how to handle it, or is that still something at this point that you and everybody else is kind of figuring out?
No, I mean, it is what it is now. And to me, you know, the days of being a developmental program, you've heard me use that word, hey, we're a developmental program. Well, you know, when you start paying people the type of money that some of these people are making, you don't have time. You can't wait 2-3 years for a player to play to the value that you're paying. And when people pay you as a pro, they expect to have a professional experience or a professional finish to it. And it's a lot more transactional than maybe when I got into the business, which I'm okay with, because you know what, I've said it and been on the record. These players and this football program has made a lot of people rich on campus,
and they deserve,
and the values and with some of the TV contracts. And I hear about the degree. I'm a byproduct of a degree. So if they come play for me, we always talk about not just giving them the fish sandwich, which is what NIL is. It's to feed you today. We're still in the business of teaching them how to fish, which is to allow them to eat every day and to allow their future family, their future legacies to be able to benefit from the work that they've put in.
Did you actually move the desk into the locker room, or was that a little
I didn't
bit?
have to do it because they know where I am, and I'm all over this building. You talking about Jones Hill House, every part of this building, I am connected. You know, sometimes when you're inside of the forest, you can't see through the trees, and now I have a very clear view again of my team. I can remember about a week ago sitting in the team meeting, and I looked up as I'm going through some of our programming, and I see Octavian Smith sitting there, and I know Ock very, very well. I knew something was wrong with Ock. When the meeting was over, I said, Ock, come here, and I said, what's going on? And he had some things going on in his personal life that a year ago I probably wouldn't have recognized, because I was putting out fires everywhere, and you know, everybody was knocking on the office door asking for money that I didn't have, and I felt like a parent that couldn't provide the necessary resources for my family.
Man, it is a tough place to be in, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, what do you do in that moment, right?
Well, you do like Vanita Locksley did. You pay the gas bill and maybe hold off on the water bill.
Just get by, right?
Yeah, you make ends meet, and we've done that, and we've got a good team, and I can tell you that the foundation that was laid was a solid foundation by a bunch of really talented players that have been in the program since we came back in 2019. And I can tell you, because of that, we'll be able to bounce back stronger.
Mike Locksley is with us here on GCR. Coach, that said, right, like you referenced what was going on kind of in the behind the scenes last year. From a football standpoint, is there a simple explanation to what – I mean, you guys had come off 3 outstanding seasons, obviously. Was it just a bleed over of what was happening behind the scenes, or were there football issues that you had to address in how you built this team and how you prepared this team for this season?
Well, I think the big part of it is always how you manage success. And, the I and the ego gets involved when you have success. We also graduated a bunch of players.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think we're 11th
including a
in the
quarterback,
country.
that was pretty important.
I think we're 11th in the country in the amount of players we've put at the next level. And if you really look at the way this program was built as a developmental program, year one, we didn't sign a player until the February signing date besides the late Isaiah Hazel and Malik, the tight end Jackson that we took, because I was still involved in the playoffs with Alabama. Year two, we brought in some really talented players. Year three, we had COVID hit, and we started to make the swing. And then we had the 3-year run, and, we graduated a bunch of linemen that are all over the NFL, and that's one of the toughest places to get older quicker if you don't
We're
have
really excited
resources.
about one of them in Baltimore right now.
As we should.
That kid, man.
As we should, and we thought very highly of Corey Bullock as well. And then you have the next couple of years where you graduate all of our DBs. So we went from all the old linemen, from DJ Glaze and Spencer Anderson and Jalen Duncan and Corey Bullock and all these players that are playing at the National Football League, and you have to replace them with high school kids, or you have the resources to go get portal guys to allow the high school guys to grow up again. And we hit that cycle with O-linemen. We hit that cycle with DBs, which are the two toughest places to be young, especially in a league like the Big Ten. And we took our lumps, like I can remember a young Tarheeb Steele at Ohio State and at Indiana a couple times where the ball is, was thrown all over the place. But by the time he's a junior,
he's a hell of a player.
Really well.
Correct.
Well, we had young players last year that had to be developed and had to go through those fires because we didn't go out and get the portal guy that could fill a need of graduating NFL caliber players. You have to develop them. Well, now that this July 1 hit, we've been able to shrink the gap between what we had and what we have now going into this season, and we were able to backfill some of the depth issues and some of the inexperience we had, and we brought in two of the most talented high school classes where we focused on what I would call the draft as opposed to the portal. And when you focus on the draft, you bring young players in, you have to give them time to develop.
And have they been bought in? Have they?
They've been here since a long time. I don't know if you've seen the Malik Washingtons and the Jalen Gilchrist, and they were here all spring.
Yeah.
So some really talented players. Zaire Mathis, who got here on Father's Day. We've got some talented young players, and now we've been able to bring in some more Corey Bullocks, the Alan Harons of the world, who are now will be a year better.
So I feel like, one of the dumbest things that people always ask is like, hey, what's the most difficult thing for Maryland in competing at this level? And I've always brought up the offensive line, right? That this is the skill position players, they're in your backyard. You can go find all of them. It's not the same on the O-line. And you referenced that being a struggle. Do you feel like you have that type of group this year that you can compete with?
I mean, they're a year older. Alan Haron was his first time playing at a major Power 4 level a year ago, and he'll be better for it this year, like guys have like Gottlieb Yeje was for us. And then, when you have that ability to go bring in talented players, what I've done now is I've elevated us on the coaching side to where, in the NFL, they have to rebuild a team every year. They may keep 20% or 30% of their core guys, but all the rest of the guys have to be rebuilt. And that's the model that we've now gone to at the college landscape. And, for us, the last couple of years when we didn't have the resources, we focused on the draft. We didn't complain about, hey, we're not able to do some things. I just went and got young guys that I could afford, and that, it's going to take a little time because they have to build the toolboxes up of playing in this league. And then as we limped into it and were able to get to that July 1st date, now we've been able to backfill and bring in some talented players like the Cam Rices, like the DDs of the world who came in from Florida State, and the two corners, one from Wake Forest, Dante Joyner from Arkansas State. So we've been able to backfill because we have the resources. We've elevated. Sure, the coaching part of it is definitely an area that a year ago we got to do a better job, and I started making some of those decisions throughout the course of the season to elevate the program so it has a chance this year to snap back.
What does Pep Hamilton bring?
Number one, he knows me, knows the that this team and this offense has to fit in the Maryland way, not necessarily coming in with one guy, bringing in a brand new language. It's bring in the things we don't do, add value. A tremendous play caller, obviously, a guy that has done it at the highest level, has called plays in the AFC Championship game, has developed young quarterbacks into Rookie of the Years, where he coached Justin Herbert into the Rookie of the Year. He had Alex Smith in San Francisco when he was a young pup. He had Deshaun Watson as he was coming out of the deal down in Houston. So he's been around the block. He's well experienced, well versed in being able to put together a system that fits the players, and that's what it's always been about here at Maryland on offense. Is we want to find out who our playmakers are, implement them into the game plan, and find ways to get them the necessary touches to have the ability to make plays.
And then a guy that we know very well up in Baltimore, why was Ted Monachino the fit, and have you seen Terrell Suggs yet show up to run around with him here in College Park?
Ted brings, again, that experience that I front with the versatility of that edge rushers and those edge players. The Baltimore defense has been as well respected a defense over the tenure of Coach Harbaugh's career there. So having the ability to keep the same defensive structure but add a new voice to the front of the room, a guy that has been able to develop pass rushers. One of the things that's been an Achilles heel for us is how do we get and affect the quarterback without always having to add people, which now puts you in tough pickle on the back end, especially when we had young players a year ago playing corner. And when you don't generate a pass rush, you leave them on that particular island that we talk about. With Ted's experience and his ability to generate pass rushes there in Baltimore, he did it in Atlanta. He's been a coordinator at the Colts. He and Pep were coordinators at the same time there in Indianapolis. So a familiarity there that allows us, one, with this new landscape, to develop a team quicker, as opposed to the 2-3 year that we had to do when we got here, because they've had to do it at the NFL level where you don't have your final roster set until 2 weeks before your
the
first
guys
game.
go in with them.
Yeah. And so that experience is what I was looking for when I started to hire people, and I was very fortunate to get two guys in Pep and Ted that understood the vision.
Mike Locksley is with us as we are live at Jones Hill House, University of Maryland. Coach, you brought up the resources. Is it equitable now for everybody after July 1st, or is that still to be determined?
No, it's still to be determined. I mean, it's a mask. The fact, here's where it's good for me and good for Maryland, is that the resources that are available that the players have earned, because revenue share is the money that they've earned based on the TV revenue that's generated from them being the show. When you look at the number, the 20.5 compared to the 2.5 to 3 million we had a year ago for our team, for the football team, being able to add those resources is what has allowed me to be able to go get some of these other players, the backfill, some of the voids we had a year ago. And then, obviously we lost quite a few players in the portal once the season ended, which the year before we didn't lose any. And so it's a matter of now of bringing in a blend, which we found a way. We didn't just sit back and complain about what we didn't have. We had a plan. I've always rehearsed everything I do, the structure of maybe going to get players like Corey Bullock, like Alan Haran from lower level schools and that have talent. I mean, they're not talented guys, because you look at Gottlieb Ayeje, who's at Frostburg, and he's on the practice squad for the Raiders all year. I think we know what it looks like, and we know how to develop them. But to have instant success and to have that bounce back, we had to elevate every aspect of our program, including how we approach things as a head coach, and that's what I've tried to do.
You obviously have a quarterback competition.
Yeah.
I figured the reason why we were here is because you were ready, and you're going to make the announcement right now, right? So I don't want to get in your way.
Yep. I mean, because of how good you guys have been to us, there's no doubt if and when I break it, which today I'll do it for you. I'm ready to name all three of those guys the starting quarterback today.
Is there going to be one quarterback?
Yes, that's the plan.
Yep.
That's the plan. That's what we're rehearsing to do, is to make a decision. But I know this: we have three talented ones, and just like I've been in a room before where you had a Jalen, a Tua, and a Mac. All three of those guys were talented.
It worked out okay, yeah.
It worked out all right. Well, again, we have a talented room. We always understand that competition makes us all better. Those three are a really close, tight-knit group. The best part about the quarterback room, and the decision won't be a hard one, is that they all have respect for each other, and they all know that they all have put in the work. Pep has done a tremendous job of organizing how we bring those guys along, since they all are inexperienced in our system, and they all root for each other. Sure, there'll be some hurt feelings when we do have to decide which guy, but the best part about that room is that we can play the same genre of offense with all three. They're all 6'4", 6'5", athletic, big arms, can make throws. It's just who's going to give us the best chance to score points, and that's what we have to kind of figure out here. And we'll stay on our task like we always have with naming it. Our starter will know the Sunday before we start. That Monday he'll take the 60% of the 1 reps, and we'll have the other 2 that'll be prepared in a way that if something were to go awry, that we always have our other guys prepared. And so once we get that figured out, we'll roll them out there first game August 30th. Whoever takes that snap, and that's when you guys will know.
Can I ask it, because I asked this question to Coach DiNardo recently.
Mm-hmm.
Can you ignore all of the other stuff and just pick the guy that gives you the best chance to win week 1? Like, can you block out someone's place in a program, the money they're making? Are you able to do all that as a coach at this point?
I don't know, when you hear me talk about the give a crap gauge being on E, like, I don't care what you guys think. I don't care what anybody thinks about me outside of this building.
Yeah.
When you lose a child, you learn very quickly that nothing else matters. So I'll be very clear on Glenn Clark. If I'm going to break some news, here's the breaking news. I don't give a shit what people think outside of this building. These players know who we are. The people in this building know what we've done. What money is involved. This is the same thing people deal with at the NFL. We deal with it at professional level. I mean, that's the part that we had to anticipate and teach. Well, we've done those things. I mean, fool me once, shame on me. It won't happen again, but I don't really care. And people can write what they want, say what they want. The authentic part of me is like, I don't care. I've done a really good job here of putting this place in position, and these players believe in every part of what we are doing, from the football field to life.
Can you tell me something about all 3 quarterbacks? Something that, because we don't know who it's going to be. Yeah. Something we should know about all 3 of these guys.
Well, again, Christian a year ago is the most experienced guy in our system, because as the third quarterback a year ago, Christian Martin traveled to every single game, did not take a rep, prepared as if he was a starter, and that mental preparation is why you see him involved in the mix, because a lot of y'all have made it into a 2-horse race, but it's a real 3-horse race, and Christian Martin, because of how we prepared him and developed him last year, maybe not on the field, but in the classroom, the quarterback etiquette of what it's like to be a quarterback, he prepared as if he was going to play every game and travel to every game, and so that gave him an advantage of being in the system and knowing. With Malik, I just think the intangible things show up with him. His maturity level.
It's unreal, isn't it?
When you walk into a place and Malik Washington is there, everything kind of gravitates to him. With Christian Martin, he may be the most talented of all 3 because of his ability with his legs, his arm. He has a big, strong arm. Reminds me of the quarterback that UVA had that went down to New Orleans, Aaron Brooks, I think was his name.
Yep.
Very similar skill set, wiry, long, big arm, can make all the throws. The decision-making, has the ability to make plays with his feet that are, and probably the best athlete of the 3. So, you just heard the inside on all 3.
There you go. Those are the 3 guys. You have a hell of a group of pass catchers again. Yeah. It sort of seems like that's the note. That if we can count on anything with Maryland football, that there's always going to be that group of pass catchers. Does there ever become an issue with, are there enough footballs to go around for a group like this?
And that's our jobs as coaches. And I don't know if you've heard me from day one of being hired here. All I've ever talked about is identifying playmakers and then making sure that they get their opportunities to make plays. And that's the job of a play caller. That's the job of a coordinator. That's my job as the head coach, to ensure that is happening in all 3 phases of our team. And whether it's creating a role for guys that do things really well. You create a role to say, okay, we'll do these things with this guy, and this will allow us to make plays.
I have an affinity for local guys. Whether that's a Lavain, who we had on earlier, or Malik being a Spalding guy, or I've enjoyed all the inroads you've made at St. Francis over the years. Sidney Stewart's a really interesting one to me, and we actually wrote about him in the most recent print issue of Press Box, and someone who it feels like has an opportunity to make an impact pretty early on.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite in this class because he's one of those guys that has come in with the right makeup. I define leadership as having a positive impact on other people. It doesn't have a stamp on it that you have to be here 3 years to have a positive impact on other people on this team or in this program. And Sidney's one of those guys that understood it from day one. You hear my authenticity, you should hear Sidney talk. And this is a kid that's super aware and hyper aware of being authentic to who he is. And we have a lot of players like that, but with Sidney as a young player, I just see signs of a leader that not afraid to have the tough conversations, not afraid to be the heavy, not afraid to own the locker room. And if guys aren't living up to the standard that we set, not just me, but we as a program set, he's one of those young players that we've identified that will not be afraid to have the tough conversation and own it.
Who's the guy that we don't know about that we should know more about? Who's someone that has really impressed you on the field, off the field, during the course of this camp that is going to be an impact player this year?
Well, I said this to Jim, my boss, Jim Smith, the other day, but, our kicker.
Yeah.
We've got a kicker, and I know I took a lot of crap and just kept my mouth shut earlier in the year when I was called out for poaching a kicker, which didn't happen, but I'll address it on Glenn Clark.
Hang on, are there even rules to that? Even more, this is a legitimate question.
I didn't even know who he was talking about at first, so that shows you about how much poaching is done. But I can tell you, I see why he's upset.
Because he's that good.
He's a really talented kicker, and I wouldn't want to lose good players like that from my program, and I have
100%, right?
But our kicker, I really, to have the confidence like we had a few years ago with Chad Ryland, where I knew, once we got the ball inside the plus 35, that we were going to come away with points if we protected the football. That's a comfort level. A year ago, we probably haven't had for the last couple of years, just knowing that to get points once you get inside that area of the field is really important in the Big Ten. And he's one of these guys that can kick in all the different weather. I really enjoy having him here and that confidence.
It's wild to hear what that does for a coach. Like, it really is. Like, what that does for you to say, we know we're getting points.
Yeah.
Like, we're not leaving anything
protect
on
the football. Hey, let's make sure we protect the ball. You have to come away with points. And, when we pick the quarterback, it's going to be based on who gives us the best chance to score points. Every drive should end in a kick.
What should Ravens fans know about Corey Bullock? I mean, you bring up the story of him going from HBCU, low level, to ending up here. And the work that he's willing to do to put himself, grind through a practice squad, all this to put himself in this position to make a team.
The NFL has a lot of players like that, but Corey is one of those special ones. And let's not get it twisted. He wasn't a average player at North Carolina Central. He was an all-conference guy. And, we always have a plan for when we're looking for what I would consider Moneyball guys that are talented enough to play here. Corey's only issue with maybe coming here out of high school was he didn't meet the height weight requirement. He's a little shorter than the stature of what we typically play with, but he's one of those guys that overcame it with the leverage he plays with and how he plays and how smart he is. And, to get him out of North Carolina Central, and you got to give credit to their program down there. And, they've done a tremendous job there, and then he comes right in and is able to assert himself into a starting position for 1 year. Had a positive impact on our team. And now I think, a couple of years of being developed in the NFL, he's a developmental player for the NFL, and that's the similar model to what we've had to use. And to see him in, I guess, year 3 maybe now, and what he's been able to do and hear how much they rave about him, nobody here in Jones Hill House is surprised that worked with Corey Bullock that he's doing what we expect.
Any other news we can break while we're here? Anything else you got for me?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting they got some Old Bay potatoes inside the cafeteria. I'm about to go chow down.
I might have to tell your athletic director that we're going to wrap the show early because I might have to run in and get some of those. Coach, it's great to see you. Appreciate you. Always appreciate your honesty. Always appreciate your candor whenever we have a conversation. And, we will be in touch as the year goes on, and we look forward to seeing you, man.
Appreciate you guys and all you do for Maryland athletics.
He is Coach Mike Locksley. We will grab a break. New athletic director Jim Smith is scheduled to join us next as we continue along on Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
We are back in here as we continue along live from the University of Maryland Jones Hill House here in College Park for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. And this is our first opportunity to meet the new athletic director here at the University of Maryland. It's a pleasure to welcome into the program Jim Smith, who's with us now on GCR. Jim, it's great to meet you. Thank you, first of all, for having us. I mean, I've been here a million times, but this is your home now, so thank you for hosting us here at the University of Maryland.
Well, thanks for coming out. And I know you guys have been doing this a while, and it's great to be able to meet you and have you out here. I heard you talking to Coach Locks, so it sounded like a really good interview, and looking forward to spending a little time with you.
He's one of my favorites. I'll go right to it. Right, I'm sure you had a lot of people that would say, "Why? Why would you, everything that you've done, accomplished in your career in professional sports, college sports, choose to take on this role now of all times in college athletics? Why would this be something that you would sign up for in what everybody has declared is the Wild Wild West?" So I'll go right to it. Why?
Oh, because there's an enormous amount of opportunity here at Maryland. So there are a couple of key things. I love a challenge, right? And so collegiate athletics right now is incredibly challenging in what I think is a really good way. It's evolving into something that it's never been before. There's no easy answer. There's no solution. So being able to put your own mark on what that solution can be is really, really interesting to me. And so when you can do that at a place that you believe in, which is the Big Ten, and then you get to meet the people that are here, and you have a president of a university who is committed to athletics, it's got all the pieces to be incredibly successful. And then you meet coaches like Coach Locks and Coach Freeze and Coach Buzz and all our other Olympic sport coaches. This place is really special. It's got a lot of momentum, and now we just got to give it a little bit of jet fuel, and that's my job to bring the resources to the table.
What are those priorities?
Yeah, it's about resources. I mean, you can't ask people to be in today's collegiate athletic world. You can't ask them to be successful consistently without providing the resources that those other programs are providing. And that's part of the job that is not easy. It's not for everyone. It's really hard, and it's got to be done in order to be successful.
This was quite the hot button issue, as I'm sure you're aware, over the course of the last year in these parts. I asked Coach Locksley this question. After July 1st, is it equitable for everybody, or is that still to be determined in college athletics?
I think it's more equitable,
okay.
But it's still a work in progress. There were a lot of things done before July 1st that kept the inequality in place. And so we've got to let that shake through the system a little bit and be able to build our program the way we need to, while understanding people may have had a head start on us. And we've got to catch up fast, and I think that's part of what we're doing right now.
He is Jim Smith, Maryland Athletic Director. He's with us here on GCR. Jim, I bring up that there were some hot button issues around here, right? Like, would anyone in your life say something like, "Boy, isn't there some weird stuff going on at Maryland?" Did you have to answer or get answers from anybody here about? It seemed like you guys, there was some infighting. Did you have to ask any of those questions before you took this job?
You would be doing a really bad job if you don't do your homework before you take an opportunity like this. So clearly, I have friends in the NFL, I have friends in Major League Baseball, I have friends in the NBA. You do a lot of homework before you decide that this is an opportunity where you can be successful. So I talked to a lot of people. I knew a lot of what went on here. I asked a lot of really good questions. I got really honest answers, which told me a lot about this institution and this opportunity.
So if the public perception is one thing, what to you is the reality of what the athletic department looks like at the University of Maryland?
I think it's got huge upside. So I'm a big believer in the coaches that we have all the way through this athletic program. They're great. They're committed to Maryland. They've been really successful with limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just hope to be able to give them more to be able to be even more successful than they've been in the past.
Is it something where, like, everybody got, I have my one son here with me today, right? I want to make it very clear. He's not my favorite son. I have two. They're equal.
What's up with that?
They're equal. They're
what's up with that?
Calm down. They're equal.
That's not right.
He just happened to be the one that wasn't at camp this week, and so that's the reason why he's here. But, like, what is that role for an athletic director where everybody wants more, right? Like, where obviously there has to be major investment in football and men's basketball and women's basketball, but, like, the lacrosse team still wants more. Like, how do you handle all of that and having to, feed all of the kids?
Yeah, really healthy respect, right? You do, just like you said about your sons, you love them both equally. You love them all equally. It doesn't mean they're always treated exactly the same. And I think most coaches understand that. They know that we need an incredibly successful football and men's and women's basketball program in order to elevate all of us, both from a brand standpoint and from a financial standpoint. So I think they have I'm very fortunate to have great coaches in all our programs, and some that have been incredibly successful. When you look at Missy in field hockey, and Tills in lacrosse, and Kathy in women's lacrosse. I mean, we have a number of great coaches, and they all want to be at Maryland. That told me something. That really told me a lot about the coaches here, that they want to be here. In spite of what may have been some challenging situations. And so, again, my job is to bring the resources into the table to be able to help them be more successful. And part of resources isn't just directly for their program, but it's in building all our other revenue streams, right? And that helps all programs. And the last thing I'd say is that there's a big difference between wants and needs. My job is to address the needs of all our programs. And so if I can do that, and we've accomplished and checked off all the boxes on the needs to be successful, will have been successful, and then the wants come easily.
All right, let me knock out a couple. One would be there is this concept now that exists, there's this belief, and we've seen it a couple places already, that because programs are fully funding, that's going to cost sports. Like that's going to be the trade-off. It's going to cost somewhere else, that you can't do both things.
No, we're an and department. It's not an or department. It's and. We can win in football and win in field hockey, and neither has to be sacrificed for the other. So I don't subscribe to that at all. Now, there may be programs that have many more sports than ours that might have to look at it differently. But I think Maryland is perfectly positioned to be in the and situation, not the or situation.
This isn't going to cost anything here. Everybody's going to be able to compete, and nothing goes away. And that, I think, is very assuring. I guess the next question becomes, right, do you have to, you allude to it. I think a lot of people allude to it. We know that football is going to be funded more than other sports are, in part because there's a larger roster. But I think everybody knows, and also because it's the biggest revenue sport that there is. This is a place where there is a unique basketball history, and there is always an argument. I'm sure you've already heard from some people. You should care more about basketball here. How do you walk that line of people believe Maryland's a basketball school versus we can't just say we're a basketball school?
Oh, I think it's the same thing we just talked about your sons. You love them both, and they both can be successful. And so as long as you're not sacrificing one for the other, I think we can be incredibly successful in all our sports, and that's going to be the approach.
Is it as simple as just asking, like, how does this work? All right, I'm the dumb guy. There's a reason I do this for a living. Is it as simple as just asking people for more money? How do you create more revenue in order to give more programs more funding?
Well, I don't want to give away my secrets.
All right,
Come on, that's part of the secret sauce.
I was gonna go start a consulting business. I guess I'm stuck here.
No, but I think that you really have to look at.
Sorry, Sam, you're not going to camp next summer.
Yeah, I really do think you have to look at the business opportunities that haven't been explored by traditional collegiate athletics, and figure out how to take them. And so this is a really good non-answer for you, but to figure out how to really make those into businesses that drive revenue for your programs. And so I'm hopeful, within the first year that we're going to be able to identify things that people haven't seen before and that aren't being done anywhere else, that will drive revenue into this into this program, as well as enhancing the revenue streams that we do have. Those from ticket sales, those from all those ancillary revenues that come. And that part of that is making your experience what you experience at an Orioles game or a Ravens game, right? That it's really incredible. So you're willing to invest a little bit more because you're getting a great experience.
It's a fickle market.
All
right?
markets are fickle. So
Okay.
this is really no different. And I say that only from coming from another fickle market. And having lived in many fickle markets around. So,
but like Atlanta's a passionate college sports market, right? Like they love. I've been,
but with 4 professional sports teams,
fair.
And so it's not like it's, and clearly every market wants to win, right? And so every market gets frustrated when they don't win. That is, go to Nebraska, go to Missouri, go to any place in the country. It's exactly the same. We all deal with the same issues. And so, you just keep plowing forward and making sure you're doing the absolute best you can by resourcing the teams as best you can to be successful.
Does it demand, like, we have to, do you have to come in, we have to win now? Like, is it something like that?
No, you have to be competitive.
Yeah.
So look, if remember, not every team can win every week, right? So if winning is the only recipe for success, then that's going to be a tough recipe to maintain for a long period of time. But you can be competitive. You can walk into every game and believe you can win. Believing is really important. So I'd ask all your listeners to start believing rather than being doubters, right? And so if you start on the doubter side.
But sports fans.
Yeah, I know, that's right. But that's my
works.
point about it's like this everywhere. Every fan starts in the same place. When fan bases jump the shark to the believing side, because there's a reason to believe, is when your program can really reach a whole new height.
Man, we're having like large picture questions that I would love to just grab a beer and talk about at some point, because this is actually fascinating to me how all of this works beyond just trying to hey, go win, right? Go win your first couple of games and we're all good. Everybody's happy when that's the way that it works.
But that's like that everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, so again, it's all about content. Sure, we want to win all our games. You want to be 1-0. Every week you want to be 1-0. It's the easiest way to simplify. But at some point in time, you're not going to be 1-0. There's very few undefeated teams in any sport, in any league. So you have to take the good with the bad.
Do you have any projects besides, just revenue? Like, are there any the things that I don't know about that are going on here that you walk in? Obviously, there's been a bunch of construction on a line that's been going on over here, but are there any other projects that you inherit or that you have in mind immediately for upgrading at the University of Maryland?
So the the Gossett Basketball
yep.
Performance Center is an amazing facility, and it's going to be incredible for both our basketball programs. So that one will be coming online here in September. We're really excited about that. We're working about, okay, so now that basketball no longer has to practice in Xfinity, what can we now program in Xfinity that hasn't been available
Is that
in the
a potential
past?
source of revenue
Absolutely.
in the future?
Absolutely. So that's one of those things that, we're definitely starting to explore, and, how we can generate new revenue from new events that we can host in Xfinity.
My friend AJ Francis would want me to campaign for professional wrestling at Xfinity Center to be an option. He would want me to put in a word right now to say, let's make that happen somehow, some way. If that's the route we're going, we got to give him the first opportunity to get in there and wrestle. I don't know if you know AJ. He's a pro wrestler. He played football here. He's one of my closest friends on the face of the planet. And it would be a magical moment if we could pull that off somehow.
Where is he wrestling?
He's with TNA right now. They've been partnering. He's been in WWE. They've been partnering with WWE again. We can talk. Okay. We don't have to do all of this right now. We can talk about that moving forward. But that is, you're saying that those types of events are in play, perhaps.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So there you go. That's one of the projects. Remember, I've been doing this about 4.5 weeks now. So we've got a lot on the list. And now it's determining the priority of getting things done and how quickly we can get things done. Sometimes you may or may not have heard on a college campus, things don't always move quite as fast.
I've heard that quite a few times.
So they don't move quite as fast as they do in the pro world. So it's going to be one of the challenges that we got to work through.
There is, I'm not speaking on behalf of me. I would tell you that constantly I hear in Baltimore, I wish Maryland did more to reach out to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that as well.
I'm sure you have, right? Yeah. I get it all the time. And it's not easy. You guys are going to play a basketball game in Baltimore this year, which is, I know, a very big deal. I also recognize you haven't been here a very long time to start laying out those plans. But is there more that can be done, outreach to Baltimore and other parts of the state?
Absolutely. And, part of it is understanding kind of how we got into the situation we're in now and, how do we expand our footprint. And I went to Caves this weekend to the BMW. I mean, it wasn't that far. So I'm not sure where the conflict has come from, but we certainly need to be reaching out and encouraging Baltimore and the whole state of Maryland to get behind Maryland athletics. We are the flagship. We are the standard bearer in college athletics. So why wouldn't we all support our state team like they do in other states?
I mean, we all wear the flag on literally on everything that we own. I mean, like, it's sort of part of the way that this works. So I'm in agreement with you. And I also understand it's complicated because people would say, hey, could you play a football game? You only get so many of them.
Right.
And, like, you got a giant stadium just over my shoulder that you got to fill. I understand it's not that simple, but it's something that people always ask for. What's something that we need to know about you, right? Like, we're getting to know you.
Yeah. So
obviously, you're a business guy. When you're away from business, when you wind down, are you a golfer or are you?
I like to run. I like to golf. I like to read. I love the beach. Those are. I have 4 children. They're 28, 26, 22, and 20. So we'll spend a lot of time seeing them wherever they are at this point in time. So that's what I like to do. There's not a lot of free time, so you got to you got to take advantage of the free time that you have, and I'll always prioritize family first because golf is 4.5 hours. I love golf, but if it's 4.5 hours and it's, when you only have 4.5 hours in a weekend, I'm not sure my golf game is going to be getting much better.
That's why I gave up. I just gave up because it wasn't going to happen for me. Jim Smith, it's really great to meet you. I look forward to having more of these conversations as you sort of set your mark on the University of Maryland and the University of Maryland Athletic Department. Appreciate. Is any message you want to share with Maryland fans?
Oh, it's just that I'm thrilled to be here. I really am. I think the opportunity. And I know this might make a few of the fans not thrilled, but I don't know that there's a conference I'd rather be in right now in collegiate athletics in the Big Ten. And I know there's a long history in the ACC, but where this conference is going, where it is right now, just such a.
I guess then we can put to bed anybody who's still holding out hope that somehow some way.
Well, there's probably more than one or two ACC teams trying to figure their way into the Big Ten right now, rather than the other way around. And I think we're very fortunate. So I'm just thrilled to be the athletic director here. You know, you're going to see a lot of me. I'm going to be around, very present, and look forward to doing this again with you sometime
I enjoyed
soon.
this. Jim Smith, thank you so much for coming over and spending some time with us.
Thank you.
We'll come back in and we will wind things down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Get ready, Baltimore. On Saturday, September 6th, the world's top pro cyclists return for the Maryland Cycling Classic, America's top pro road race. Cheer on elite men's and women's teams from around the globe as they battle it out on a brand new circuit through Charm City. Enjoy a free festival, fan zones, and all the action at Harbor Point and the Inner Harbor. Watch live on Maryland Public TV or join the live stream at marylandcyclingclassic.us. Don't miss the speed, the strategy, the spectacle. The Maryland Cycling Classic, September 6th in Baltimore.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
So when they do the first TNA show over at Xfinity Center,
I was getting giddy just thinking about it. I was like,
do you have posters in mind?
I mean, we'll have to see what the horrible thing that AJ does right before that, in order to come up with the sign. But yeah, I mean,
God,
of
it would be
course.
so great for him to be a heel here. Like that would be such a great bit for him to be a heel.
That was good.
Here.
He came out later because he had his whole match, and then he came out later. This was when Poe came out. If anyone didn't see TNA Emergence, sorry, spoilers. Poe comes out and takes on AJ. But
have a one-on-one match.
Yeah. But AJ comes out. He says, guys, I am from Baltimore. It's part of who I am. He's starting to come around. And he's like, but that's why I had to move to Texas because I can't stand this place.
It's a good bit. That's such a good bit. That would be cool. That would be something, an opportunity for revenue. To the point, if you don't have to use that for a practice facility, there is the opportunity to do concerts and those type of events at the Xfinity Center, and that could be a way to open up some revenue for these teams and these programs. So that was very, very interesting. It's been a good day here at the University of Maryland. I've enjoyed our conversations, and we will get all of them up here in a little bit. I would tell everybody one more time, if you missed Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson talking baseball earlier this week. You can find it at facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open under the grandstand, or not under, but in the grandstand in Timonium. A couple of Maryland-related things that came in during the course of the show. Dave wanted to know, Dave, I apologize. Dave wanted to know, do you feel like the heat is on with the new athlete? I guess I should have asked him. Do you feel like the heat is on? Well, I did allude to the idea, like, do you just have to win? I'm the wrong guy to answer this question, Dave.
The heat is on Locksley.
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy to answer this question because, as you know, I'm the type that says I don't know what the expectation is for Maryland football. And if you believe Maryland football should be winning the Big Ten, I just don't know where that comes from. I think they need to bounce back this season. And I think they need to get the ship righted. I mean, if they were to, for some reason, bottom out, and I don't see that happening, but if they were, then I think that would be an awkward position for the program and for a new athletic director, I would think. But I don't know what that, what's the line? If they went 6-6, what would that mean? I don't know. I have no idea what that would mean. I would think that would be progress.
Yes,
that you'd say from last year to this year, you took a step forward, particularly if Malik Washington is playing. And that is, to me, the biggest storyline. Mike Locksley is very confident in saying, I don't care about, I don't give a shit, as he said, about the rest of it. I care about winning and the quarterback that gives me the best chance of winning. And so I inherently do believe that, because winning is the most important thing. And if he genuinely, in his heart of hearts, says, we've got a better chance to win right now with Justin or Christian Martin than with Malik Washington, I think he's going to play that guy because they want to win. But for the future of the program, the success of Malik Washington, if you see him this year, whether that's as the starter or he ends up playing later on in the year, if you see him and he plays well and Maryland wins 6, it's sort of like what we're talking about with the Orioles. We know the Orioles aren't going to the playoffs this year. But what they're doing is sort of laying the foundation for expectations moving forward. And if you get to the end of this year and Malik Washington has played and he's played well and the team has won some games, then it's going to be a lot easier to say there's something happening, and we believe in that. But that's all I can give you about that. I don't
think he wouldn't say he's feeling pressure.
No. Because this is the one thing, 100%, when Mike Locksley said about
talking about the authenticity.
You lose your son and your perspective changes. There's no doubt in my mind that all of that other stuff doesn't impact him even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Would you rather number 3 today? Again, get in for Would You Rather Wednesday and make sure you get in by 6 o'clock because we got to pick a winner for these Orioles tickets. Would you rather number 3 was, would you rather, I got bad news, the Ravens are losing one of their first 2 games of the season.
No.
So sorry.
No.
Would you rather that loss
I already
be
bet both games.
A hard-fought, overtime road loss to the Bills in week 1, or stunningly getting drubbed by Joe Flacco and the Browns at home in week 2?
It has to be a drubbing?
Yep.
I mean,
You're getting drubbed.
like 12-10 would feel like a drubbing as well.
You're getting drubbed.
Yeah, sounds like they're kicking us out, I guess, in a second. Just heard someone connect to a Bluetooth speaker. Yeah. I would like to beat the Bills. I don't know. I mean, they did beat the Bills. Like, they showed they could beat the Bills, obviously. They killed them in the regular season.
Yes.
And I almost feel like more likely it would be like they somehow find a way to lose the Browns.
They somehow beat the Bills and we're all high and mighty.
And they find a way.
You're picking which one.
Yeah, I'd rather lose to the Joe Flacco.
You'd rather lose to Joe.
Yeah,
that
wouldn't even feel like a loss, actually.
That part is one
That would
out.
still feel like a win.
That has one out. It is one out in response. You lose at home. You get
because then they're gonna bury Dylan Gabriel in Cleveland, when they play them in whatever week that is, week 12, whatever, in December.
Might be the case. Might be the case. All right, get your responses in at Glenn
And we'll
Clark
forget
Radio.
about, well, it'll just be a positive memory that, when Flacco comes back for his ring of
It's not a positive memory, the time that you lost to the moribund Cleveland Browns.
The greatest quarterback in the
team with the worst odds of any in the NFL of making the playoffs. That would not. Yep.
That can't be right.
100%.
Worse than New
in-
Orleans? I guess New Orleans has
in the
has
division.
I almost said it. We've been saying it all night. I almost said it.
Yeah,
S
right.
division.
We're just throwing it around casually
Yeah.
now. We're like, well, the coach said it, so we can say whatever we want. The Cleveland Browns are plus 880 to make the playoffs. The Saints are plus 820. The Giants are plus 710. The Jets plus 490. The Titans plus 390. But again, a lot of that is because of the division the Browns are in, where everybody knows there's 3 definitively better teams than them in the division, whereas some of these others, you don't know that. All right, let's get a tidbit because we got to wind things down and pack it up. Tidbit is brought to you today by Live Casino and Hotel. The best place to watch all of the big events is Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland.
Yeah, it's a simple one. We're here on the campus of the University of Maryland. Who is the all-time Big Ten passing leader? Who is it?
What a piece of crap you are. Officially, it's Talia Tungavailoa.
Correct. Yeah,
It's
you got it.
officially-
You got it. Talia
Yeah,
Tungavailoa is the all-time Big Ten passing leader with over 11,250 yards.
Yes.
Followed by?
Drew Brees, right?
Drew Brees is 4th.
But that's because we're not counting, for some reason, specific yards that Drew Brees threw for. I don't know who is.
That'd be also Purdue quarterback.
Purdue quarterback. Another Purdue quarterback. I don't know. Curtis
Is that
Painter?
right after? Yes, Curtis Painter.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not right after Drew Brees. But yeah, Painter from 05 to 08.
Oh.
11,160. So like 90-some yards fewer than Talia.
All right.
There you go.
Let's get tubular. Tubular is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. You know how much Game Day Men's Health has helped me. In Owings Mills, you can give them a call, 443-264-4454. In Columbia, you can give them a call, 443-266-3505. Or Game Day Men's Health in Frederick, you can give them a call right now, 240-931-3717. You're feeling sluggish, run down, you're worried you might be low T, get a complimentary testosterone test for Game Day Men's Health. Or, the other thing that you got to keep in mind is you're a man of a certain age. You might be dealing with, performance issues in the bedroom. It happens. You don't want to talk about it. It's a safe space to talk about it. Again, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com or give them a call right now. Orioles off and not much of significance happening today. Perhaps a former Oriole versus a future Oriole. Charlie Morton on the mound for the Tigers against Framber Valdez in the Houston Astros today at 1:10 on MLB Network. You could watch that. Really, that's
the Miz is pitching tonight. I know that.
Oh, Jacob Mizorowski,
yeah,
but
the Cubbies.
I don't think that's on TV.
Oh, it's not on TV.
Yeah, it doesn't,
so we
that
don't
doesn't
care.
help us
We
quite
don't
as
care.
much.
Okay. All right. Well.
Anything else?
Non-sports wise, yeah, there's a few things non-sports wise.
Quick.
Season 17 finale of Always Sunny.
Oh, yes, right.
We've got a MasterChef, of course, on Fox.
All right.
And then on Hulu, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox.
Oh, yeah, I
new
do want to watch
series
that.
on Hulu. Yeah, Grace
I do
Van
wanna watch that.
Patten plays Amanda Knox, who was wrongfully convicted for the tragic murder of her roommate
Yes.
in Europe, I think.
Do you not remember that?
I don't remember
that
this.
predates you?
Yeah,
it was
I
like
guess
the biggest
so.
story in the world.
Does it predate? How
Yeah,
bad
I don't
does
know.
it?
All right, that's going to do it for us today. We'll get everything else up at GlennClarkRadio.com. Want to thank everyone who joined us, Jim Smith, Mike Locksley, Lavain Scruggs, and also Kaleb Webb. We'll get all that up in the greatest hits section of the
Galveston
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Back in studio tomorrow. Anything lined up?
We are going to chat with Tarheeb Still, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Former
Former
down
Terp.
with the LA Chargers, as well as Vance Honeycutt from the Aberdeen Iron
last
Birds.
year's first-round pick of the Baltimore Orioles. Looking forward to that. Thanks to everybody here at Maryland for making this happen and helping us out. Thanks to everybody at the Press Box, all our great sponsors and partners. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass.